Okay, this is your feedback for question 1 of your evaluation. So just looking at this from the starting point, we do need to have some form of introduction to this. So again, I'd encourage you to look at jump scares, question 1, and establish what we mean by conventions. So you've got form conventions, of course, that we discussed, and you've got genre conventions as well. So within genre conventions, it's a good opportunity for you to bring in some of the theory that we've talked about in the exam preparation. Particularly, you might want to talk about the need to create certain pleasures through the genre, the need to meet certain audience expectations, as you can see highlighted here, and also things like subgenres. What they did was they built a mood board to identify the fact they're doing horror, and to discuss things like what the meaning and the purpose is. So when we work through this, what I'd like to see is that I can see the student who's responsible for the post written next to it, so we can obviously show the examiner that everyone's contributing to the success of the work. Okay, so this is nice where we've got our disequilibrium here, and we've got that which appears, I believe, in your trailer here, and you've got your trailers there. That's really nice. Yep. Okay, so I think when we're talking about Todorov, again, if I show you the example from a previous A grades piece of work, you'll notice that they've given a substantial amount of structure here about the sections of their work. So they've created stills to show, what the disruption and what the resolution actually is, and then they've done it side by side here with Cabin in the Woods. So I just think you need to write a little bit more talking about what there actually is in your film, because obviously you do have a resolution to lights out, and you need to maybe talk about how that wouldn't be appropriate for a trailer, because obviously the context of what you're making. So I just think you need to maybe just expand that out a little bit, as if you were comparing the film to the trailer. Be careful with captions. We are really thinking here about them being called title slates. But I like the way you've kind of like looped them. That's really nice. Again, though, we don't have the side by side of how they would feature in another film, like Lights Out. Yeah. So I think, we just need to make sure we're putting that in there. Also, again, if you look at the example from last year, the A grade, where they've talked about titles, it's interesting that they've kind of noted things like the order they come in. For example, the production company comes at the start, and then obviously you've got your film at the kind of end of it, the film title I should say at the end. So just be careful, like make sure you're kind of going through the actual development of it as it appears through the trailer. The other thing you might want to introduce here at this stage, although you are covering it currently in question 2, is how that links to the other conventions. Like you need to have that typography consistent to create brand identity. Sound, okay, this is nice. We've got some working sort of soundtracks. This is good. This is detailed. Okay, yeah, good. So I think with this we need to discuss why it's not a case that it is appropriate. It's a case that obviously teaser trailers would have a certain runtime, because they need to pay for advertising space. So the longer your runtime, the more expensive it's going to cost. The second thing is, of course, you've been asked to do a teaser trailer, which means that it would be around the 1 minute mark. Okay, here we really need to see examples of the setting, of what's actually happening here. So that's kind of unfinished currently. Again, we need to think about side-by-side representations here. If we go through characters, okay, this is nice. You've got some side-by-side stuff going on there. Yep. Okay, that's good. Costume and props. Yep. So we've got some examples. Again, if you look at how they presented it from here, and we talked about costumes and props, we've got these kind of rotating stills. So I mean, you're going to have more costumes probably in there and props than just this. You might want to think about rotating them and having them on there as well. We probably need more than just 1, 2, 3 images from real media text. But this is good. Yeah, you could talk about your character types here as well, your stock character types. Okay, this is nice, the editing. We use yeah, good. So you want, if we're talking about using fades, so I'd expect to see here like a video of that section as well. That's interesting how you're talking about all this. That's good. Again, need some side by side maybe with kind of, yeah, with maybe the effects, not the effects, but maybe with the transitions and stuff like you've done there, the color grading. I think also you need to talk about like what the impact of color grading is, like why you're gonna, why did you do that? How effective is it? Don't forget the evaluation part of this question. This is nice. Yep. Good. Lighting is good. It's nice. Good. So we just need a conclusion that is going to kind of go through that section at the end. So the conclusion here, I think these guys wrote, yeah, they kind of did one as they went really. There's some sections on cuts to blacks, what they mean, how we see them in the thing. So it's good. I think it just needs to be a little bit more in terms of just expand upon what you've already got and give me a few more kind of examples of what was on there. Things like that, for example, you could very easily bring your mood board in from your research and planning to make that first circle, more interesting to look at, more interactive. Again here, when you're saying that, we probably need to have some images to back up what you're saying, because now we just go straight to the trailer. So I think overall it's just about how we present a few more convincing examples and maybe just expand on some of the short bits that we've been talking about. You can easily do that by explaining why they're like that and what purpose they serve. And if you've done the intro, then that would mean that you could establish, what purpose they do actually serve. So overall, at the moment, I think we're looking at kind of sort of C minor sort of borderline at the moment. We just need to have a little bit more in there. I think the conclusion and the intro make a big difference. Thanks very much.